You guys never see Mrs. Rip dance. That's right. I dance like a grandma. You didn't know that, did you? Mrs. Rip dances like your grandma. Usually I'm dancing in my seat, guys. All right, 30 more seconds, friends.
That's right.
All right, hi there, Beacon friends. Welcome to our session number 2 of our our readathon for today. We are so excited that you are here for our wonderful guest reader for this afternoon. Remember, all this week we are doing leaders in our community. And today I have one very important leader with us today, and that's Mr. Stewart. He's our superintendent. What? I know. This morning you met one of my bosses, Mr. Pullman, and this afternoon you're going to meet another one of my bosses and your teacher's boss too, and it's Mr. Stewart. Let's go ahead right now, Beacon. Can you give out an awesome, warm, spirit sprinkle welcome? Ah! All right, I'm going to pan the camera here to Mr. Stewart. Here we go. Show me awesome bodies in 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, so let me introduce everyone out there to Mr. Stewart. Here's Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stewart, welcome to Hilliard. This is your first year here, right?
It is. Thank you so much.
Wow. Mr. Stewart, we are so excited to have you here with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what book are you reading with us today?
I'm reading a book called The Dark, and it's written by Lemony Snicket.
It is. And those friends that are out there right now, Lemony Snicket's writes hilarious books, and you might have seen his movie series right now on Netflix as well. Who can do a Me Too if you've read those before and watched that? Oh, good. All right, hands down real fast. And here's what's the fun part. This book is silly and curious just like the book. So, the chapter books. Let's go ahead and hear a wonderful story. Here we go.
All right, you ready? Okay, here we go. Laszlo was afraid of the dark. The dark lived in the same house as Laszlo, a big place with a creaky roof, smooth, cold windows, and several sets of stairs. Sometimes the dark hid in the closet. Sometimes it sat behind the shower curtain. But mostly it spent its time in the basement. All day long, the dark would wait in a distant corner, far from the squeaks and rattles of the washing machine, pressed up against some old damp boxes and a chest of drawers nobody ever opened. At night, of course, the dark went out and spread itself against the windows and doors of Laszlo's house. But in the morning, the dark would be back in the basement where it belonged. Laszlo would peek at the dark every morning. Hi, he would say. Hi, dark. Laszlo thought that if he visited the dark in the dark's room, maybe the dark wouldn't come visit him in his room. But one night, it did. Laszlo, the dark said, in the dark. The voice of the dark was as creaky as the roof of the house, and as smooth and as cold as the windows. And even though the dark was right next to Laszlo, the voice seemed very far away. What do you want? Asked Laszlo. I want to show you something, said the dark. In here? No, said the dark. Here? No, said the dark. Downstairs. Downstairs? Yes, said the dark. In Laszlo's living room was the biggest window in the house. Laszlo looked out at all the dark outside. Above him, the roof creaked, and he closed his eyes. Now the dark was all Laszlo could see. No, no, said the dark again. Not there. Down here. Here's the basement. In the basement? Asked Laszlo. Yes, said the dark. Laszlo had never dared come to the dark's room at night. Come closer, said the dark. Laszlo came closer. Even closer, said the dark. You might be afraid of the dark, but the dark is not afraid of you. That's why the dark is always close by. The dark peeks around the corner and waits behind the door, and you can see the dark up in the sky almost every night, gazing down at you as you gaze up at the stars. Without a creaky roof, the rain would fall on your bed. And without a smooth, cold window, you could never see outside. And without a set of stairs, you could never get into the basement, where the dark spends his time. Without a closet, you would have nowhere to put your shoes. And without a shower curtain, you would splash water all over the bathroom. And without the dark, everything would be light, and you would never know that you needed a light bulb. Bottom drawer, said the dark. What? Bottom drawer, said the dark. Open the bottom drawer. Thank you, said Laszlo. You're welcome. What did he find in the bottom drawer? Go ahead. A light bulb. By the time Laszlo got back into bed, the dark was no longer in his room, except when he closed his eyes to go to sleep. What did he do with the light bulb? Go ahead. Yeah, he made a nightlight out of it, didn't he? The next morning, Laszlo visited the dark in the basement. Hi, he said. Hi, dark. The dark didn't answer, but the bottom drawer was still open, so it looked like something in the corner was smiling. The dark kept on living with Laszlo, but it never bothered him again. The end.
What a wonderful story. All right. So, Mr. Stewart, I have several questions for you here. So when we think about this book, The Dark, we can think about the dark as sometimes things that scare us, right? Things that maybe we haven't encountered before. Like our main character in this story, he'd never really ventured into the basement and into that dark. What's something in your life where maybe you've been scared of something to try? Because I know that a lot of our friends here, they're trying a lot of new things every day that might seem a little scary. How about as an adult? What's something that you've tried that was scary, but you were like that main character, Laszlo, and you did it, and you overcame that fear?
Probably the first thing that comes to mind, believe it or not, I actually, as an adult, got a chance to jump out of an airplane one time. And I had to drive, a friend and I both got the opportunity to jump out of that airplane. And it was about a 2-hour drive to get there. And I remember being terrified on the way there. So the car ride on the way there was almost silent. And then we got there and we did it, and it was one of the most amazing things I've ever done in my life. And the car ride on the ride home, we couldn't stop talking because we were so excited about what we did. So I was pretty scared. In fact, they had to basically push me out of the airplane, but it ended up being a really neat experience.
Oh, I love that. Who also agrees, like, you can relate to that? Like, sometimes you've got to take a big leap to try something new. Oh, good. All right, so Mr. Stewart, our next question involves what we're celebrating all this week, and that's our readathon. We're trying to celebrate being passionate about reading and finding great books, and we've asked a lot of our guest speakers and readers to tell us a little bit about their reading journey, because we have found that everyone has a different kind of reading journey, especially in elementary school. Like, some have struggled, some just, like, it took a while until they found what kind of genre of book they liked reading. Tell us a little bit about your reading journey and how you found books that you enjoy.
So I grew up in a house with two parents that both loved to read, especially my dad. So my dad was somebody, and I'm not this way, I can't do this, but my dad was somebody that could read multiple long chapter books all at the same time. So he could have one book that he kept by his bed that he was reading, another book maybe next to the couch, and another book at work. And he could read all three at the same time. So I was always around books. My mom was different. She always had a book. But you know, in my house growing up, we weren't allowed to watch a ton of TV. And so to kind of earn TV, we had to read a book, which then turned into actually just enjoying reading. So it really just came from the house I grew up in. There was books everywhere. I'm actually in the process of moving houses right now. And one of the big challenges my wife and I have is to figure out what are we going to do with all. We have a basement full of piles and piles of books, and we don't know what to do with them. So we got to figure out what to do with them.
I've been in that same boat before. So our last final question, and thank you again for joining us today. We have been asking our leaders and our readers with us this week of how do you use reading in your career? Because we're getting the sense that a lot of people aren't done reading once they're done with school. So talk to us a little bit about how reading has helped you in your job, and then what do you do for, like, do you still read for fun like you did when you were little? We want to kind of hear about the adult reader in you.
I do still, let me answer the second one first. I do still read for fun. What I've noticed about me, and I don't know why, but somewhere along the way, I stopped. When I read for fun, I read nonfiction now instead of fiction. I don't know why. That's just somewhere along the way, I kind of enjoyed reading nonfiction more than fiction. In terms of in my job, there's a lot of books written about leadership, and so right now I'm reading one called Reset, and it just helps me to stay fresh and have new ideas about my job.
Wonderful. Well, you are welcome here anytime to be one of our guest readers, or just pop in anytime.
I will.
Friends, what do we do at the end? Dance party. But before we do, what do we say to Mr. Stewart, everyone out there? Let's stand up. Let's dance. Here we go. Bye, friends. Thanks for coming.
Careful. Why don't you dance towards your